The question is not whether God will give us guidance. You ever thought about that? The question is not whether he will give us guidance or not. The question is, do we want his guidance? Are we willing to receive his guidance? Are we seeking and receiving his guidance? Being led in right paths involves a willingness to be obedient on our parts. Being led in these right paths, he leads us in paths of righteousness, right paths for his name's sake. It requires or involves an obedience on our parts. Sadly, however, many don't want to follow. They don't want to be led. Oh, they may say they want to be led. They may say that or pretend that, but truly they want to quote unquote chart their own course. They want to do their own thing. It's not my will, but your will be done. But it's more not your will, but my will be done. Now, people wouldn't say it that bluntly or even admit it a lot of times, but sadly, if you look at a lot of people, they want to do their own thing. They say, I don't want God to tell me what to do. I don't want to be led in these right paths. I want to blaze my own trail, if you would, for my sake, not be led in right paths for his sake. Most would deny that they want to do their own thing and not be led, but it's obvious when you look around a lot of people. See, this is a key mark of maturity. Among the saints of God, among the people of God, a key mark of maturity is this willingness to be led and this um, following and walking in the ways of God. It's a mark of maturity. Romans 8:14 and 16 says, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. Now, every child of God, every son of God, every daughter of God can be led by the Spirit of God. As many as are led by the Spirit, those are the ones that are the sons of God. But when you study this deeper, it says, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons, or the Greek word is huios, Huios. They are which speaks of a mature, well developed child of God. It's saying that the ones who are mature, well developed, those are the ones that are truly led by the Spirit of God. So you and I want to seek to be sensitive to his voice and learn to hear his voice and walk in his voice and be led by the Spirit of God. Again, I'll mention again a great help if you want to read a really, really excellent book that's so practical and easy to follow and will really help you. Kenneth E. Hagin has a book titled How to Be Led by the Spirit of God. I highly recommend that book. It will really bless you, encourage you, and help you to do just what it says. Be led by the Spirit of God. He talks about what it means to be led by the Spirit of God, the various ways God leads his people. It'll be a tremendous blessing to you. How to be led by the Spirit of God. And Psalm 1, or then it goes on to say in verse 16, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, verse 14, they are the children of God, sons of God, mature sons of God. And it goes on to say the Spirit Himself bears witness with our spirit. How does God lead us? The Holy Spirit bears witness with our recreated spirit. You'll have that peace, the peace of God, which passes all understanding. Book of Proverbs says, "In all of wisdom's paths are peace." Proverbs 16:3, I believe it is, in the Amplified says, "Roll your works over on the Lord. Commit and trust them totally to Him." Now, listen to this. He will cause your thoughts to become agreeable to His will, and your plans will be established and succeed. What a word. What a promise. Roll your works over on the Lord. Commit and trust them totally to Him. He, Yahweh, will cause your thoughts to become agreeable to his will, and as a result, your plans will establish and succeed. In Colossians 3, it talks about let the peace of God act, and the Amplified, act as an umpire in your heart, settling with finality all questions and decisions that arise in your mind. Let God's peace act as an umpire in your heart. In other words, what do I do? Trying to make a decision, trying to decide. Follow after peace. Do have peace about doing this. If you don't have peace, don't do it. If you don't have peace, it's not God. If you have peace, it's quite likely God. You just got to make sure it's God's peace and not your own peace. A lot of times people superimpose their peace on something, well, because they want to do it. Well, I have peace about uh, doing this, or making this decision, or accepting this job, or buying this, or moving to this place, or marrying this person, or leaving this church. Oh, I have peace about it, when it's really they're superimposing their own peace on it because it's what they want to do. Make sure you have God's peace. How do you do that? You pray, you listen, you obey. Pray in the Spirit. Pray with the understanding. Pray in other tongues when you really need peace. The Holy Spirit will give you peace. And then Psalm 109, 105 talks about how God will lead us by his, not only his spirit, but by his word. His word will lead us into the will of God. His word is his will. His will is his word. So you follow after the Spirit, you follow after the word, and you can be led in right paths for his name's sake. Let's look at a few scriptures as we begin to wrap this up. Psalm 48:14. For that is what God is like. He is our God forever and ever. He will guide us until we die. Oh, glory. That's the NLT. Think of that. God will guide us until we die. So the question is not whether God will guide us, whether God will lead us. No, he's already said he'll do it for his name's sake, for the honor and the glory of his name. We just need to be willing, receptive to his leadership, attentive to his voice, and be obedient. Let's pause there. We'll take this up again tomorrow. And again, encourage you this week, just thank the Lord all week. Lord, I thank you. You lead me in paths of righteousness, right paths, for your name's sake, for the honor of your name, for the glory of your name, for the sake of your name. And I receive that supernatural leading. God bless you. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.